What do you feel like it is? Because I know Trump, he's such a special character. He's amazing. He's brought in so many voters who wouldn't normally vote Republican. But what do you think it is about young people that make them especially drawn to Trump? I mean, it could be his humor, his personality, but do you feel like there are things that students for Trump you like to focus on to bring young people into the conservative side?
Yeah, and I'd like to also start by saying that, Democrats especially, and they're very good at this, they use the college campus sort of as a roadmap to the White House, where they'll go on these campuses and they'll say all of these really awesome things that sound good, on paper, but when you try to put them into reality, it doesn't work out so well, like this whole forgiving student loan debt. Sort of a carrot stick approach that they use with young people. I mean, to quote Kamala Harris, I think in 2020, she said that young people are very stupid when referencing, 18 to 24-year-olds. And that, it's like you're hating on your own base, but there is some truth to that because they believe that, right? They're going to go onto these campuses. They're going to promote these ideas, knowing that very well they can't actually, act on them. Right, we're already seeing Biden sort of walk back many pieces of the student loan forgiveness scheme that he's come out with. But what we've noticed going onto these campuses is when you look at the demographics, you look at 60 or 70% of young people, millennials, get their news off of social media, whether that be TikTok, whether it be Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. That's where they're going to get their news, and they're not getting the full story at that. They're getting a headline or a blurb, and they're forming an entire thesis or opinion around, such a small piece of information. So what we've done is to combat against that is we've been going on social media to promote the news, to talk about the facts of what Donald Trump did when he was in office, while he was in office. That's one of the best ways that we can do it, especially since that's the square to where information is being garnered. Another piece to that is going directly to the student, not preaching to them, but talking to them as if you're on the same level. That is one thing that the GOP has failed time and time again with their youth program, which they barely fund to begin with. I think from my time of doing this, there's probably been 4 or 5 youth directors at the RNC, all of which, have either just left or were fired because they couldn't get anything done. That's a big critical problem. We need 24/7, 365, days a week outreach to this community, just like we've been doing with the African American community, in the Hispanic community. If you want to win these votes, you have to work for them. And I would also add another piece to that. It is not so much that young people are opposed to conservative ideas. It's that they're not exposed to them at all in the first place. And that's one of the biggest problems on these campuses among school administrators, among professors, is you have definitely a leaning Democrat appeal that you see on these campuses. And that's why we as conservatives, we have to fight back in the information square, going to these places directly, doing campus tours. This is one of the best ways, I think that we get that support. And, of course, the hearts and the minds of the younger generation. I would also say one more thing is that Donald Trump, when you actually break down his ideas, you look at his economic policies, his tax policies, his job policies, they worked for America. We were in so much of a better place then than we are now. So if you as a young person or you as a Democrat who may be listening to this, if you can tune out the mean tweets or sort of the rhetoric that you would say is unpresidential because Donald Trump was not your typical president, and you just live your life under those policies, you would be living a much better life without getting into the weeds of every single thing Donald Trump said or did.